Imagine living a life where pain, death, and poverty don't scare you. A life where your only concern is to live virtuously and realize your potential. This is the essence of Stoicism. Marcus Aurelius, a prominent Stoic philosopher, is known for his work Meditations. The concept of being a great person can be abstract, but Marcus is undoubtedly one of the most deserving of that title in history. This is not a self-help video, but the philosophy that Marcus introduced can address many contemporary issues, and I intend to show you how to understand his teachings. Let's explore the historical context. Marcus Aurelius ruled as Roman emperor from 161 AD to 180 AD. He was the last of the so-called five good emperors, presiding over an era known as the Pax Romana, a time of relative peace and stability within the Roman Empire. The Pax Romana ended with his death. During his reign, Marcus faced numerous challenges that tested his Stoic resolve, including the Marcomannic Wars, a series of conflicts against Germanic tribes, and the Antonine Plague, a devastating pandemic that significantly impacted the empire. As emperor, Marcus was the most powerful man in the world. The Romans had little concept of territories beyond their empire, making him the ruler of the known world. As the most powerful man of his time, Marcus could satisfy any desire, but he chose a path of virtue. The life of a Roman emperor was synonymous with hedonism, indulging in money, sex, wine, and other pleasures. These indulgences were almost expected. Thus, any imaginable vice was within Marcus's reach, unrestricted by law, money, custom, or ethics. Nothing could stop him from fulfilling his wildest desires, yet despite these boundless circumstances, Marcus chose a life of virtue. He chose to be consistently good throughout his 19-year reign. Being good does not automatically make you great, but imagine facing unlimited temptations and choosing virtue, not for recognition but simply to be good. That is truly remarkable. Consider, if you were in his position for nearly 20 years, could you resist daily temptation, knowing there would be no consequences for any action you took? What would you do? How would you behave? I know I couldn't live up to the example set by Marcus. Let's delve into his personal reflections captured in his journal, Meditations, which reveal how he applied Stoic principles in his life. Meditations, a book by Marcus Aurelius, was initially his personal journal. It documents his journey through life, divided into 12 parts and covering about 150 pages. The title Meditations was assigned by editors, but Marcus never intended these writings to be read by others. They were his deepest confessions and beliefs. Although it was spontaneous writing, Meditations is one of the most powerful and moving books of all time. The best way to appreciate Meditations is to read it yourself. Copies are available in almost every library and bookstore around the world. For this video there are a few ideas worth examining. Marcus Aurelius believed in living according to nature. By nature, he referred to plants and animals, but also to the natural order of the universe. Trees grow because it is their purpose. They grow as tall and beautiful as they can, not for praise or validation but because it is their nature. The caterpillar becomes a butterfly, and the fragile chick becomes an eagle, not by desire but because they are made for it. Likewise, Marcus believed that humans must fulfill their potential. He did not believe in amassing wealth or praise. Nature made him human, and it was his duty to be as kind and virtuous as possible. For Marcus, this was the pinnacle of human achievement. And unrealized potential was the darkest place one could descend. A key Stoic principle is that although you cannot control external events, you can control your reactions to them. No matter what happens, a great person endures the storm and lives up to their fullest potential. That is their duty as a human being. As emperor, Marcus dealt with numerous challenges, including evil and adversity. Above all, he believed that bad people were part of our universe. Asking for a world without them is like asking for a vine without thorns. Bad people exist and you will encounter them. Marcus believed in kindness and thought that people never did wrong intentionally, it was out of ignorance. You may try to teach them, but it's not always possible. You can't control if the universe sends you immoral, evil, or lazy people, and often you cannot help them. Marcus advised looking inward. He reminded himself that he, too, had flaws and was not in a position to judge others. On a different day perhaps he would be the ignorant one. Sometimes you simply don't understand the full picture. A thief who steals to feed his family may not be wrong. You simply don't understand. So do not judge. He believed we were all born for each other. Just as trees bear fruit for animals to eat and animals die to feed worms, we are made to help each other. This is our duty, and not doing so is the only true failure in life. We all face adversity, and Marcus was no exception. Just as encountering bad people is part of life, facing adversity is as well. You cannot control what happens, but you can control how you respond. Marcus advised not praying for bad things not to happen, as it is pointless. Instead, be ready to face adversity when it comes. Don't feel sorry for yourself or get depressed. Feel lucky to have the tools and spirit to endure events with bravery and persevere. When you do this, you'll find that what seemed bad was an opportunity to overcome and move forward. When adversity strikes, don't complain. Act and endure. If an unbearable event comes, don't dishonor yourself. All men die, but not all die complaining. Despite his wealth, Marcus Aurelius did not see material possessions as inherently bad. He was cautious about his relationship with his belongings. He could have anything: money, houses, art, wine. But he chose not to dream of physical things. These are meaningless and do not fulfill his potential. Reflect and value what you have, but do not cling to it so much that you become disheartened if it disappears. These things do not make you more virtuous or kind. Your potential is greater than that. He spent considerable time contemplating death, seeing it as a natural part of life. His views were simple: it is inevitable. Do not fear death or mortality. Nature has designed us to be good and to fulfill our potential, but also to die. Death is a duty. While you are here, live fully, be kind, and then die, for death is part of our role in nature. For Marcus Aurelius, death is not something to fear or lament. He believed that death is part of nature's grand cycle, just like birth and growth. This acceptance of life's finitude is one of the core principles of Stoicism. Death, according to Marcus, should be faced with serenity, as it is a natural process. It reminds us of the importance of living with purpose and intention, because time is limited. Another important concept in Stoicism is the dichotomy of control, which divides all things into two categories: what we can control and what we cannot. Marcus Aurelius advises us to focus only on what is within our power and to let go of what is not. Worries, anxieties, and stress, for him, stem from attachment to things outside our control. If we accept that certain events or people's reactions are beyond our reach, we can find peace. He encourages us to look inward and focus on our own mind and character. For Marcus Aurelius, true power lies in how we react to events. If you can master your reactions, nothing can shake your inner peace. In Meditations, he writes, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment." Marcus Aurelius's philosophy is a practice of self-mastery. He believed that power over oneself was the greatest of all powers. This self-mastery is exercised through discipline and constant awareness of one's actions and thoughts. He continually reminded himself that fame, fortune, and others' approval have no real value. They are ephemeral and beyond our control. What truly matters is your integrity and your ability to live a virtuous life. Ultimately, Marcus Aurelius's Stoicism invites us to live authentically, being indifferent to the world's distractions and temptations, focusing on our own development and helping others. He saw virtue as the greatest good and believed that by living with purpose and in harmony with nature, we could achieve a full and meaningful life. These teachings show us that Stoicism is not merely a philosophy of resignation or passive acceptance of events. On the contrary, it is an active practice of reflection, control, and constant improvement. It's not about ignoring difficulties but facing them with courage and determination. By studying Meditations, we can learn to apply these principles in our own lives, facing challenges with serenity and always striving to be the best version of ourselves. One of the most fascinating aspects of Marcus Aurelius's philosophy is his view on the unity of the universe. For him, everything is interconnected and each person is a part of a greater whole. In his reflections, he emphasizes the importance of acting for the good of the community and humanity as a whole. For Marcus, there was no I separate from we. He believed we are all part of a great human family, connected and interdependent. He also advocated for the practice of empathy and compassion, even toward difficult people or those who cause us problems. Instead of reacting with anger or resentment, Marcus Aurelius invites us to understand that everyone has flaws and that, ultimately, everyone seeks happiness, even if their actions are misguided. In Meditations he says, "When you encounter a difficult person, Remember that all human beings are your relatives and that they act this way out of ignorance of true virtue. Another powerful teaching of Marcus Aurelius is about simplicity. He believed that a life of virtue and serenity was a life free from excess. Marcus Aurelius lived modestly even as emperor. He viewed luxury as a distraction and believed that a person's true value was not in their possessions or status but in their ability to live in harmony with nature and with their own conscience. This simplicity is also present in his view of time. He reminds us that our life is finite and that we must live in the present, as it is the only thing we truly possess. He says, "Never let the future disturb you. You will meet it, if you have to, with the same reason which now holds you against the present." For Marcus Aurelius, focusing on the now and living with intention is key to a fulfilling life. These lessons from Marcus Aurelius have crossed centuries and remain relevant today. In a world where we are constantly bombarded by distractions and anxieties, Stoic philosophy offers a refuge of peace and clarity. By applying these principles in our daily lives, we can find resilience, purpose, and serenity in the face of challenges. Remembering that we are part of a whole, that life is brief, and that our inner peace depends on our choices are profound teachings that Marcus Aurelius left us as a legacy. He shows us that by living with virtue and wisdom, we can face any adversity and find meaning in every moment of our existence. Now, let's explore how these teachings of Marcus Aurelius can be applied in practice. Stoicism, in essence, is not a theoretical philosophy, it is eminently practical. Marcus Aurelius encourages us to use these principles in our daily lives to face stress, anxiety, and the challenges that arise. One of the pillars for this is the concept of control. He reminds us to focus on what is within our power and accept what is beyond our control. This practice is transformative, as many of the distress we feel comes from trying to control the uncontrollable. Marcus Aurelius states, "Do not waste time on what is a good man. Be one." The application of this principle in modern life can be seen, for example, in work situations and relationships. When we understand that not everything depends on us, like the opinions of others, other people's behavior, or what happens around us, we gain inner freedom and reduce the burden of frustration. Another practical teaching from Marcus Aurelius is the practice of self-awareness, the habit of reflecting on oneself. He did this daily, writing down his thoughts and re-evaluating his actions. This habit can help us improve our own attitudes and become more conscious of our emotions. When we write or reflect on our days, we can identify patterns that bring us harmony and those that take us away from it. The practice of acceptance is another key point in Marcus Aurelius's philosophy. For him, accepting life as it is without complaining was an expression of wisdom. This does not mean resignation, but rather a recognition that certain aspects of life are beyond our ability to change. Marcus Aurelius said that we should love fate, meaning we should face reality with an attitude of peace and acceptance, no matter how difficult it may be. He encourages us to transform difficulties into opportunities for growth. For him, every obstacle was a chance to improve a virtue such as patience, tolerance, or resilience. Marcus Aurelius sees challenges as opportunities to become stronger and wiser. This concept is summarized in his famous phrase, "What is in the way becomes the way." These teachings of Marcus Aurelius and Stoicism as a whole offer us a powerful tool to navigate the complexities of the modern world. In times of uncertainty, learning to master our emotions and cultivate a resilient mind is essential to maintaining inner peace. Marcus Aurelius's ideas, despite being written almost 2,000 years ago, continue to inspire and illuminate the journey of thousands of people seeking a fuller and more balanced life. These teachings of Marcus Aurelius are a true compass for those seeking to live with more purpose and serenity in an increasingly chaotic world. Stoicism reminds us that, despite difficulties, we have the power to transform our perspective and strengthen our minds. If you resonate with these ideas, why not start applying them in your life? Try reflecting daily on what is within your control and practice acceptance and self-awareness. Little by little, you may notice a real transformation in how you deal with challenges. And if you enjoyed this content, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any new videos. Here we always bring reflections and teachings to help you evolve and face life with more wisdom and balance. Also, leave a comment sharing what you thought of the video and tell us, how do you apply Stoicism in your day-to-day life? Let's exchange ideas and build a community of growth and self-knowledge together. See you in the next video.